It's all good. Okay, so again, Council would like to acknowledge the Ucluelet First Nation on whose traditional territories the District of Ucluelet operates. Notice of video recording. Audience members and delegates are advised that this proceeding is being video recorded and broadcast on YouTube, which may store data on foreign servers. Are there any late items? Okay, hearing and seeing none. Looking for approval of the agenda.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. And looking for the adoption of the minutes from October 19th, 2021, our last Societies Committee of the Whole.
I'll move adoption.
Second.
Any errors or omissions? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. And moving on to information, 2022 grant and aid and in-kind contributions. Welcome, Ms. Monteith. Seems quiet.
Is it quiet now?
It was quiet.
Oh. Okay. God. Is it quiet still?
We could hear you, Chris.
Thank you.
Donna?
Now I'm going to try to connect on my new computer that has a camera. This one I couldn't. Hold on.
Donna, you can try that original mic one more time if you wish.
Just give it a second. Try it again.
Hello?
How's this?
Oh.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm going to use this one. All right.
It's all over.
I'm kidding.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
I want to be on my.
Okay, here we go. Through the mayor. Yeah, pretty sure this is one of council's favorite meetings of the year. The Grant and Aid and In-Kind Contributions Program is a way for the District of Ucluelet to support local not-for-profit and societies to deliver important projects throughout the community. In 2022's budget, the district has $20,808 in grants and $46,000 in in-kind contributions available. So on page 13 of your agenda package, you can see that we've received grant requests totaling $41,410 and $56,146 in-kind contributions for rentals or leases of district-owned facilities. So both categories have more requests than funds available this year. However, today is not the day that we're making decisions. We just get to sit back and listen. So March 15th at the regular council meeting, I'll bring forward a report which may include things like whether or not an application is considered eligible. Are we good? Or if these programs are receiving funding from others and things like that. And I don't like to deem applications ineligible. I like to hear from everybody first just to make sure I'm interpreting the application in the way it was meant. So I won't take up any more of your time. So I'll turn it back over to Mayor Noel. And thank you very much, everyone, for participating in this process. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Monteith. Okay, and I believe there's been one request for Chamber of Commerce to begin as the first presenter. So welcome.
Hi, Mayor and Council. Thank you for having all of us here today. The Chamber of Commerce is excited to be hosting the 22nd annual Edge to Edge Marathon this year after a 2-year break. Registration is now open for the 10K and the half marathon. We have approximately 100 people registered so far and hope to have 600 people participate in the race that will take place on October 16th. We are requesting in kind the use of meeting rooms at the community center for October 13th to 16th for pre-registration, preparation, and a registration package pickup location. Also, the Chamber of Commerce had 2 successful night markets last year. The first market at the end of August, we had about 500 people come through. And the second market at the beginning of October saw about 350 people come through. I've requested the following dates with the Parks and Recreation Department for this year's night markets. May 25th, June 29th, no market in July, August 17th, and September 14th. And we are requesting in kind the use of the seaplane-based field for the night markets. And that is all from us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from any councillors? Did you have something, Councillor Hoare?
Just clarifying, Sika, the dates that were in the package are different from the dates you just mentioned, so you've changed those with recreation, correct?
Yes. Yes, in the application, I did mention doing a market in July, but I don't want to take anything away from Yuki Days. So
Did that happen?
added a market, took a market off of July and added one in September.
Perfect, thanks.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you.
We look forward to all those events. So do we start preparing now for the half and the 10 kilometer?
That would be a good idea.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you. Next, I have Food Bank on the Edge. Chris Martin, welcome.
Hold on a minute. I'm learning. Just a second. I got a new computer. Hold on.
You're doing great. Nope, do what you did before.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Hi, everybody. My new computer with a camera. So excited. Hi. Thank you for the opportunity to request the grant and aid. Just a little recap from last fall. The food bank, I have to say, COVID has been pretty good to the food bank. We got 2 big grants, well, one big one and one ongoing annual grant, where that enabled us to, for the last 3 months or so, to purchase more protein sources and also higher quality, first quality produce selections for our clients. So we're coming off of a very abundant few months, which we were very pleased about. Our hamper numbers have come back up to like right before COVID. We kind of went, after COVID hit, we went to a slump, and that persisted for about a year, really. But they're coming back. So things are happening again, back to normal regarding food insecurity. Our Christmas hamper, well, we built 104 hampers, and we were also able to, with this additional grant money, give all of our Christmas hamper families gift cards in different denominations based on size of their family. So everybody got extra money in their Christmas hamper this past year. So we were thrilled with that as well. In addition, we also are continuing our support of our community food programs, which include the West Coast Community Resources Society lunch program. And also we gifted Forest Glen Senior Housing with gift cards this past year. So we were able to share our bounty with our community partners. The money we got, just to give credit where credit is due, the federal and provincial governments were enabled this money to flow to us. And also the result of the CBC Food Bank Day in December was record-breaking amount of money coming in from that this year. So we were quite thrilled with that. So going forward, we were requesting $2,000 in assistance so that we can continue to keep our shelves stocked, especially now that the grant money has run out. In addition, the in-kind contribution of the use of the rec hall for this year's Christmas hamper would be appreciated. We found out sort of a silver lining last Christmas hamper we were moved to the rec hall from the community center, and it actually turned out to be so much better than we could ever have imagined. So our request this year is for use of the rec hall for our Christmas hamper. The dates on or around December 21st and 22nd for 2 days in that period of time. And I think that is about it. So thank you very much, and appreciate all the support from the district as we go forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And off to the counselors, any questions for Chris? Counselor Kemps?
Hey, Chris. Hey, do you ask for assistance from the ACRD and Ucluelet as well?
Yes. So ACRD, no, not yet. That's not on our radar. But the Ucluelet First Nation helped us again this year for the Christmas hamper, because almost half of the hampers go across the way for them. So we got a nice contribution from Ucluelet First Nation.
Hi, Chris. The Whale Festival looked into the ACRD grant and aid program, and they don't allow double dipping. So if you receive grant and aid from either Tofino or Ucluelet, you can't apply to the ACRD. So
okay, so there you go.
There you go. We looked into it.
Yeah. But yes, Ucluelet First Nation was generous again this Christmas for us, so it was nice.
You would think the ACRD would be different if it's a food bank, because everyone is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think everybody that is looking for their grants and aid as well, lots of them are really great causes like the food bank and shelters and such, and they just can't double dip. There's a rule against it. It's a thing.
Sure, that makes sense. There's a lot of a need.
There certainly is.
Any other questions?
Any other questions for Chris? Thanks, Chris, and we look forward to what 2022 brings for your group.
Thank you.
Moving on to Rain Coast Education Society. Mark.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mark. I'm with the Rain Coast Education Society. Just to sort of reiterate what we included in our application, we're asking for money to support the Ucluelet Field School program. It's obviously a program that we're committed to offering year after year as a long-term permanent contribution to the curriculum at UES. And we asked for $9,000, which reflects, I think 3 years ago, we asked for $4,500. We didn't ask for anything during COVID because we weren't really clear on how much time we were going to spend running the program. We ended up doing a lot of stuff online, of course. And now that we've resumed in class, in person instruction and field trips, we're sort of making up for lost time. We've also had a hard time getting business donations from the community to support the program, and the field school is essentially reliant on community donations to support it. A lot of the other work we can do, we have different avenues to explore. It's relatively easy to get a government grant to do biological research, whereas the costs of the field school program on our end are 85-90% payroll. It's really hard to get grants that will cover salary costs, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. But for anyone who's not familiar with the program, our instructor in Ucluelet, Kira DeLiu, she works with all of the teachers, all of the grades at UES. Every year is different, but it's usually between 80 and 100 field trips that we run. So every student at UES is going to go on 8 to 10 field trips a year based on the total budget of the program. That's like less than $25 per trip per student. And of course, we offer that to the school at no cost at all. So it's free for teachers, it's free for parents, it's free for students. But we need to hire an instructor and support the instructor. And so the ask that we put forth represents about 15% of the operating cost of the program. And if anyone has questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Councilors, for any questions? Any questions?
Hey, Mark. It's Lara. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, do you make a presentation to the UES PAC at all for funding?
When we first started the field school program 4 years ago, we met with the PAC quite a bit. We had a meeting with them and they gave us about $2,000. And at the time, in the meeting, they wanted to make it very clear to us that they supported the program, that they were really satisfied to see the program expand, but that we shouldn't expect any funding from them. They explained that they don't have a means of regularly supporting this program. And so the sort of final conclusion of the meeting from the PAC was, we really like the program, but we're not in a position to fund it. So, please don't continue asking us for money because we won't have any to give you. But they scraped together everything that they could to get us going in the first year, which we were super grateful for. So at this point, my understanding is that that's certainly not an option for us in terms of a source of funding for the program.
It would be interesting to talk more about, because the school board now thinks as the outdoor education job or the program at USS is funded by the school board. It would be interesting to actually make that discussion as an outdoor ed program for the UES and see if the school board would fund that. Has that ever come up in talking?
It's never come up directly, but on a sort of a tangent, it was brought to my attention that UES was receiving funding for field trips and they weren't running field trips for the last several years. And I was sort of surprised because, at the end of the day, our program is offered in collaboration with UES. It's something that we try to, at every level work with the school. So I certainly am in regular communication about what the needs and the requirements of the program are. So I try not to make a habit of going around hat in hand and asking people for money over and over again. So I would certainly love to explore that possibility. But like I said, at the time that we did, it was made very clear to us that that's not something that's going to work. And, even as of the beginning of the school year, the feedback that I got from both Tofino and Ucluelet was, well, we don't have any money through the school to support it. So if that changes, I think that would be a really logical place for us to start trying to bring some money in through the school, because it is ultimately a program that's offered to the school. So, at this point though, like I said, to the best of my knowledge, that's not an option that's been laid out as one that we have any option of pursuing.
Interesting. Okay, thank you.
And Mark, just for to confirm that this funding is required. If you didn't have the funding, this program would be in jeopardy of not happening. Like, where are we at here with that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to overstate the case. It's definitely the program that, it's the last thing that we'd cut. Both my board and myself value the program tremendously. So it would be like the last thing to go. Having said that, the costs are slowly but steadily going up. I mean, 90% of the program cost is an instructor's salary. It's basically one person's salary. And so if I can't pull together that person's salary, then I can't keep them employed and I can't run the program. So the last thing I want to do is give anyone the impression that we're trying to, hold field school hostage, but I'm just trying to be open and honest with people and with supporters and with funders that the reality is we just don't have that many options to fund this. It's incredibly difficult to get recurring grants. It's hard to get grants that'll cover salary no matter what, but to base a multi-year, kind of in perpetuity funding model on grants for salary, it's not an option. So if we don't get the money from somewhere, then we can't run it. And we've had a really hard time generating any kind of meaningful financial support from the Ucluelet business community. In Tofino, the field school is run entirely on business donations. And since we started in Ucluelet 4 years ago, I'd say 98% of the cost of the program in Ucluelet has been funded by Tofino businesses. So it was our hope to replicate that model in Ucluelet. And I realize it's a different business community, different climate, but the money's got to come from somewhere. So we're knocking on every door.
Okay, well, thanks for that clarity, Mark. And we have no additional questions for you, Mark, and thanks for your time this afternoon.
Thank you for giving me the time. I really appreciate it.
Moving on, 8.4, Surf Rider Pacific Rim. Lori, are you on?
Yes, I'm right here.
Okay, great. Welcome.
Yeah. So my name is Lori Hanna, and I'm the chapter coordinator for Surf Rider Pacific Rim, which spans Tofino, Ucluelet, and all surrounding area. I'm here to talk about a couple of things. I'm just going to jump into it. So one of the most fun and compelling parts of our campaigns is their inherent creativity, the innovation they spark, and the quest to raise greater awareness. We can do this in a mundane fashion, or we can have fun with it. The latter is way more effective as people are drawn to what's positive. Surf Rider Pacific Rim became inspired by the cigarette surfboard, and as a surf community with strong environmental values, we wanted to make our own for the community to use and educate people with. Local shaper Jesse from Some Sea Surf Com agreed to make a butt board to celebrate and bring attention to this 1 million milestone and our ultimate campaign goal of having plastic eliminated from cigarettes, along with making the tobacco industry responsible for cleaning up the pollution caused by their products. Being the most littered item in the world with 4.9 trillion cigarettes tossed annually, cigarettes are not only a threat to human health, they're also a threat to the integrity of many ecosystems they find their way into. The Hold On to Your Butt campaign aims to raise awareness about the environmental impact of cigarette butt litter on our oceans, waves, and beaches, as well as lower the amount of pollution occurring through this awareness by implementing policies to reduce cigarette butt litter and through our recycling program. Our ultimate goal is to eliminate cigarette butt litter in Tofino and Ucluelet and beyond. So in 2021, cigarette butts were still the #1 pollutant on local cleanups, with 6,228 reported through our marine debris tracker app, combined with all our other cleanups is over 7,000. Presently, we are installed in the completion of an educational video to showcase the newly completed cigarette surfboard. Who is the local videographer is Mike Durant. So once we complete this production, it will educate local businesses, community members about the program and increase participation. We'd also like to purchase additional cigarette butt canisters from TerraCycle to encourage more local businesses to join our collection service. So presently, we have about 18 businesses in Ucluelet and 11 of them are using our pickup services. So today I'm asking for $3,000 to complete the video production and $900 for more cigarette canisters. So, do you guys have any questions?
Okay, thank you, Lori. And over to the counselors. Any questions, Lori? I'm assuming that video then would not just be used locally. That'd be a video that would be used broader than just the West Coast?
Yeah. So we have credit from the District of Ucluelet on it as well. And for instance, when the surf competition comes up, they live stream. So that would be part of their part of their live streaming. They'd have it run continually. We'd have it on our website, and we basically, give it to whatever, chambers, tourists, both Tofino and Ucluelet chambers to use on their website, and just to get the word out there that we really want to, eliminate this pollutant on our West Coast and let all the visitors as well as residents and businesses know. And we have a lot of great support. We just want to keep increasing that, because I don't know if you ever realize it, and I don't know how many times I walk the streets here, and literally whenever I look down, one of the first things I see is a cigarette butt. So it's just kind of increasing that behavior. People are getting way more on board, and I really am so grateful. I know the District of Ucluelet already has 7 canisters that they use, and their staff collects them and recycles them at Songbird, or now Ozark Environmental. So we're really grateful for your support already. We just want to kind of continue on with that and really, just kind of eliminate this completely.
No, thank you. Okay. Question?
Hey, Lori, it's Lara. Do you work with Tourism Ucluelet at all with their environmental messaging?
Yeah, we do. We do have we do have conversations, and I know there's a little bit of elements on their website, and so we would really like to just kind of really make that a little bit more robust. And we're really, I know you guys have a lot of different budgets to, there's only a certain amount for every, and so I am really open to, if you can't fund the full amount, then even a portion, we'd be really grateful. We are going to ask out other people as well and other businesses, but even, a portion of that to put it all together would be really grateful.
We're going to do our best.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you for this time. It's greatly appreciated.
Have a good afternoon. Okay, 8.5, Wild Pacific Trail Society. Welcome, Barbara.
Hi there. I'm Barbara Schramm for the Wild Pacific Trail Society, and I would like to approach council for funding to help us launch our latest and greatest enterprise, which will be an interpretive trail section at Ancient Cedars. We've left the best for last because we've done the bog trail and the mud flats, and now we've want to focus on the rainforest. It's going to be a really good section. I've got about 7 sign concepts prepared, and we're looking for funding for 2 of them for $3,500. So we're hoping the Trail Society can basically pay for half, and then we will get matching funds per sign from potentially council, maybe Tourism Ucluelet can take a sign or 2, and we'll cobble together enough money to do a really good job on this. The goal is to create an outdoor classroom with environmental focus areas. So they become a tool for visiting school groups, local school groups, partner educator societies like Rain Coast Education, Surfrider. It helps everybody to create this outdoor classroom. And we heard during COVID that it was greatly appreciated by homeschoolers to have an outdoor venue they could take kids to for education purposes. So we're looking that credit could go on each sign based on who partners with the Trail Society in creating that signage. I think the packet talked about some concepts, so I won't go into all that, but it will be very site specific. So right at a specific 3 elders, we'll discuss that. One new idea that's not on your list is we're looking at doing a voice box that's a hand crank that will have a First Nations speaker teaching people how to say the name of the trees. Because we want to feature a lot of First Nation content, but nobody knows how to pronounce the names. So that would be something I would play over and over until I got it right. So yeah, I hope you can help us out. The other goal of doing these signs is that we get 750,000 people using the trail on a yearly basis in a normal year. So these signs always have a stewardship message that would modify behavior so that they're not hurting the bark of the trees or going off trail and damaging things. Is our hope to build that stewardship into the trail sections, which will preserve the Wild Pacific Trail for decades. And lastly, everything that goes on the Wild Pacific Trail actually becomes district property. So you're giving back to yourself. Any questions?
Councillor McEwen?
Hi, Barb. Thanks for that presentation. Would we be able to pick which 2 signs we get out of the possible 7?
Well, you're the first people I've asked, so absolutely.
That's great. And just on another note, we had some out-of-town friends staying with us last weekend, and we walked the Spring Cove Trail again, and the signage there is just wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have the same team put together for Ancient Cedars with Andy McKinnon, and yeah, you just couldn't get a better support than the Trail Society inspires. It's really an honor to work with people. Mm-hmm.
Any questions for Barb? Nope. I love the voice box, and I love the theme, what you've done at Spring Cove, and you're continuing that throughout the trail. So, once again, Barb, thank you for your time, and have yourself a good afternoon.
Okay, thank you.
Moving on to 8.6 Pacific Rim Hospice Society. Welcome, Tarni.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Thanks for having us today. Excuse me. I'm here to request $4,000 for our registered clinical counselor to provide services for up to 60 youth. So the goal is to provide 2 peer mentorship programs. So our next one coming up is March 1st, and it's a 7-week program. We've offered it in person and online, depending on COVID, of course. But it's a 7-week program focusing on giving youth the tools to help themselves and their peers through challenging times. So some of the workshop topics include what is grief, healthy communication and active listening skills, heartbreak and healthy relationships, challenges with home life, challenges with friends, and local supports and how to reach out for help. So the goal is that we give the tools to the youth so that they can help their friends in their time of need. We've done 2 of these peer mentorship programs already, and they're wildly successful. Our upcoming one is almost full for March 1st. So the goal is to run 2 of the mentorship programs and also provide services of one-on-one counseling for the youth. So Tara Sutch is our registered clinical counselor, and she works mostly out of the high school working with youth. She did try some online stuff during COVID, but found the in-person is definitely the way to go. So she takes them out at lunch or what have you, and they go for walks in the community. And so hoping to provide about 40 youth with one-on-one service and about 20 in the peer mentorship program. Those are direct service, and then also, impacting their friends and their family and school staff as well. So in a nutshell, the youth that we're targeting are from the age of 12 to 29. And the total project costs are just under $14,000. And like I mentioned, we're asking for $4,000. And happy to answer any questions. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Any questions? No? Okay. A quick question from me. Have you done this training before on the West Coast?
Yes, so Tara created the program, and then she has run 2 mentorship programs already. Last year, thanks to your help, we were able to run those programs. So this will be the 2nd year offering them. Wonderful. We're hoping that this just becomes part of our regular servicing that we do for our communities here on the coast. So, yeah.
Great, thank you. I don't see any other questions, so thank you for your presentation. Well, here's a lively one. 8.7 West Coast Multiplex Society. Welcome, Samantha.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks for that note too. I hope it's a lively one. Thanks for the opportunity for the grant and aid request. I am Samantha Hackett. I am here as the chair of the West Coast Multiplex Society. We're a group, as most of you all know, a group of dedicated West Coast locals, all volunteers that have been working on this project for the last 2 decades, giving lots of blood, sweat, and tears to bring the multiplex to reality. 4 of our board members currently are Ucluelet residents, Carrie Hose, our treasurer, and then we have directors Sean Mills, Clint Mack, and Tanya Dikowski. And all of the West Coast communities, under the persistence and dedication of the Society, in consultation, of course, with the local governments, First Nations, and the regional district, have been in pursuit of this recreation facility for the West Coast. And it represents an exciting and unique MOU between the 5 First Nations communities and 3 non-First Nations communities. So just to remind everyone, that's Taloquet First Nations, Ahousaht First Nation, Heshquet First Nation, Equuthwat First Nations, Toquat First Nations, District of Tofino, District of Ucluelet, and Alberni Clackwood regional district. I won't go through all of the history and what's brought us here today, because you all know that well from my many presentations. But what has sort of recently come about is a significant grant. So Toloquit First Nations, on behalf of the 8 communities, applied for the Infrastructure Canada Green and Inclusive Community Buildings Program. Last year, this grant alone could provide up to 100% of the estimated $19 million that will be required to build phase 1 of the facility. And we, of course, anticipate that most of the funds required to build the facility will come from the various government grants, this one specifically. But, of course, the support of our local communities remains as important as ever and to push us over that finish line. So while the grant sits with the government, we've been doing a lot of community outreach to get as much of the current and correct project info out to the public. And concurrently, we've opened an endowment fund with the Clayton Biosphere Trust for capital fundraising. We're finalizing plans for outreach to more private funders, and we'll be sharing a video to support the capital fundraising campaign that we're working on. So all of that going on, what we would like to sort of start as a project, and what the request is specifically for, is our focus on a regional recreation strategy to support the fundraising efforts. So specifically to include some pre, during, and post-construction and campaign elements. The Society is looking to hire a gentleman named Tom Barakoff. He's from TPB Strategic Council to support the project. He was instrumental in the Upper Skeena Recreation Center, which was a $25 million facility becoming reality up in northern BC. And it's just a great example of many community partners coming together to build an arena and a gym in that specific area. We all know that the West Coast needs recreation facilities, and all will need government funding. And so some of the feedback we've been getting over the last few years with our government grants is highlighting, really to be focusing on one specific grant application at a time for the region. And so the region itself, all the 8 communities, need to prioritize recreation facilities, coordinate these grant applications, and have all the partners support the plan. That's, of course, tricky to create when the region is comprised of 8 communities. So it really is important that these conversations happen, and we'd like to be able to help move those conversations forward with Tom's help. We all know that the West Coast will benefit from many recreation facilities in this location specifically: arena, pool, gym, the fields, etc. And so creating and facilitating these stakeholders, working groups to bring clarity, unity, and strengthen our regional support to the West Coast recreation facilities and the grant applications. I'm not maybe going to go over any of the specifics from the grant application itself. Otherwise, I'll just be reiterating things that you've already read. But please, if you do have any questions or anything specific that the Society can do to support all the great work that the District of Ucluelet is already doing for recreation, and really just I want to highlight the continued support that the District of Ucluelet has had for this project. It's really been instrumental in us being able to move forward the way that we have. So thank you for your time.
Any questions for Samantha? Samantha, for clarity, so Toloquit have put in an application for another, because I remember a couple of years ago, were they not unsuccessful? So now there's, I wasn't aware there was another submission.
Yeah, so there was 2 submissions with that initial stream. That was more, it was federal funding, but through the provincial government. Mm-hmm. This one is a whole different project. Actually, it's more a federal application, this grant, and it actually ticks a lot more of the boxes. It's a very specific Infrastructure Canada, and it's about inclusive community buildings, which really, that's everything that the project is all about. So Toloquit actually has been more hands-on with the application as well, and has been actually checking up. We checked last week that the application is still sitting with the government, and that they're still looking at it going forward.
When's that grant due, Sam?
It's a great question. They told us that we would hear back in the fall. We applied in June, and it's now almost the spring. So hopefully we'll hear before the summer.
Any follow-ups? Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you, Samantha, and your group for your dedication and in pushing this topic forward.
Thank you.
Eight 8.8 Yuki Sunday Market Society. Joy Lynn. Welcome.
No. Okay, there we go. Thank you. This year we were asking, it's pretty nominal. We're asking if we could have in kind the use of the village green for Sundays commencing the May long weekend. I think it's May 22nd through until Thanksgiving long weekend, October 9th, on Sundays from 8 until 3 every Sunday. And if this could be a donation, we've paid a nominal rent in the past, but we would ask if it could be an in-kind from the village. We had a very successful market last year, coming off of a year not doing it. And we look forward, it grew, and we're looking forward to really good things this year. Thank you.
Any questions? Pretty self-explanatory, that one. We're good? Okay, well, great. I'm glad you hear that you had a successful year last year. No questions from myself or council. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Eight 8.9 Seaview Senior Society. Kathy. I think you're still on mute, Kathy.
Here we go. Okay. Now, can you hear me?
You betcha. It's all yours.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to do this once again. It's an opportunity not just to have an ask, but to be around our other societal friends and neighbors. And we are forest land living, obviously have been pretty hand-tied on this through this stretch of COVID, as congregate living has a lot of additional rules and regulations through the province and island health. So we have had to cut off what many of you may have known as very successful seniors luncheons, and we got up to about 65 people after 2 years of working that up. We still don't have 100% certainty that we will be able to go ahead with our events, but as of an earlier Zoom meeting I had with Island Health, it does sound like we are going to be able to start opening up a little bit more to time now. So we are hoping on, we would like to keep what we have in the bank that was from 2 years ago, I guess, maybe 3 years ago, from the district. And if possible, we would be thrilled to have it topped up to the $3,500 that we did get. I don't think we've used, but since our last ask, we've only used $250, and then we were shut down. So we would like to prepare for it, because if it comes back, if we're able to come back, even if it's in smaller batches, we might be able to have twice a month in smaller groups than just the once a month 65 people. And it affects not just the seniors that we have, it's seniors in the community and the volunteer seniors in the community. And our theme has always been seniors volunteering with seniors. So we really do miss all of that. And I know a lot of seniors in the community miss that too, because the socialization is a very important function of their existence. Lots of laughs, lots of fun. We miss the Sunshine Club being able to come every single Wednesday and play cards and games and have snacks together and whatnot, and the cribbage club that we got started, and the chair yoga, and they just started playing billiards when all of this happened too. So we'd really like to get that back. It's just a demographic that had become very social together in a very safe and fun setting. We had guest speakers, guest chefs. So that's where we hope to restart. So we would appreciate any support that we can get. We aren't asking for too much right now because it's still somewhat of an unknown, but we will certainly keep what we have safe and get it started as soon as we can. So that is our ask. And if anyone has any questions, well, another thing I wanted to say is through that time, we did get a CBT grant with emergency services, and we put together what we call a warming center. And this is something that if there was an extended power outage, for example, like there was a couple years ago when it was out for a few days, it would be a place where people could come, get a bite to eat, seniors get a bite to eat, get warmed up, get some things that they might need that they might not be able to get at the store. We're fortunate to have a generator, and it would allow for a little bit of socialization as well. So we thank CBT and emergency services and the volunteers in the community, from the paramedics to our nurse leaders, community nurse leaders, that helped us get that going. And I think that's about it. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, and then I will get back on the road and wait in line. Yay.
We have no questions for you, Kathy. Thank you. And I think I speak for everyone here. We really look forward to some gatherings back at your facility in the near future. It's definitely dearly missed.
Thank you, Mako. You all have a good night.
Yeah, safe travels, Kathy.
I'm going to hit the road. Thank you. Bye-bye.
8.10, Rotary Club of Ucluelet. Welcome, Mary.
Hello, Mayor and councillors. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to address you with regard to our request. I'm representing the Rotary Club of Ucluelet. We were chartered back in January of 2019, so we've been active in this community now since then. We are a service club. We are also a member of Rotary International, and the focus is on service, both in local communities and internationally. We have, over the course of the past years, our members have volunteered on a number of events and activities. With the COVID clinics, our members were volunteers assisting at those clinics. Also, we have volunteered with the Soapbox Derby this last September, and we partnered with the Recreation Department to host the Pumpkins in the Mist. We also last April sponsored and held an Earth Week Challenge, which we hope to repeat again this April. We also have some local community service projects in the works. Our main initiative is to create and develop a Frisbee golf course for the community of Ucluelet. And our member Jeff Anderson has been working closely with the Recreation Department to land on a location and develop the terms for that project. So our fundraising efforts do go toward funding projects like that. Another project that we have identified is to replace the handicap ramp at ANAF. This goes toward our initiative of looking at opportunities to increase accessibility around our community, and that sort of thing. We have also received a grant from our local Rotary district, our district of Rotary on Vancouver Island, to undertake some beach cleans, which we have partnered with Hello Nature to undertake this April as well. So over the past 3 years with COVID, we have mostly been meeting over Zoom, but as a service club, we also focus on fellowship, and would like to have in-person meetings to go toward that. And also at these meetings, we would have a speaker. This would be for the benefit of all of our members, as well as inviting members of the community who would be interested. And so our request is to have meeting space at the community center. This would be of a great assistance to create a home for our members to meet and to develop and discuss our projects. We typically have been meeting twice a month. The second Wednesday of every month, we have a board meeting. We have 7 board members. And then the last Wednesday of every month, we try to have a full club meeting to create fellowship, to talk about our projects, to invite a guest speaker. And so this would be the focus of our request, is to have a home for our meetings. That's about it in a nutshell. So if you have any questions, I would be happy to address them.
Any questions for Mary? Go ahead.
I just want to say that I'm jealous of your tan, and I'm gonna, and I hope you're enjoying your time.
I am. Thank you.
Oh, she's in Hawaii right now? Hawaii right now. Okay. I didn't know that, so.
I'm actually back in Yuki now. I arrived back on Sunday.
Was not Lori in Hawaii as well?
Yes.
She's still there?
Yes, she is. She comes back on the 20th.
Okay, Mary, thank you for your presentation. We know what you're looking for, and thank you very much. And we do appreciate the Rotary's commitment to the community.
Thank you.
8.11 Pacific Rim Whale Festival. Linda.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for holding these meetings. It's been quite an education for me, actually, to hear from all the other societies in the area. I'm Linda Dressler. I'm with the Pacific Rim Whale Festival Society. I'm secretary on there as well. This year I took on Director of Sponsorship and Grants, which is quite a challenge, something new for me. I know this festival has been around for over 35 years, and it started out as a way of bringing people to our area on the shoulder season in March, and celebrating something that is important to us, which is the whale migration past our shores. Over that 35 years, though, I think this festival has really changed into something wonderful. We seek to educate and inspire not only locals, but of course all of the people that come from all over the world to come here and learn about the ocean and the predicaments of the ocean and the whales that are in it, and how we as human beings can change that and make things better for them. So with that in mind, this festival also has a bit of an issue in that it's was totally in person, which of course 2 years ago became impossible. In fact, 3 days before our 2020 festival, we were canceled. We were told we couldn't hold any in-person events. So that actually came off of another lost year in 2019, when we did not have the funding to properly plan and put on our festival. So after 2 years of hiatus in 2021, we got very creative and managed to put together a virtual festival. And actually that was interesting because we provided and saw that we were reaching out to the entire world. We had people from Europe watching our presentations and telling us how wonderful it was and how they'd really love to come visit us. So it was good that we were able to put on a festival, but unfortunately, being virtual, there was no money coming in. So if you look at it, that means that for 3 years, we've had money going out and no money coming in. So we are again looking to get fairly creative and manage to put on our in-person festival. And I'm not sure if everyone else is aware, but we got awesome news today in that the health restrictions have been immensely relaxed. And that whereas we were not allowed to hold indoor in-person events at all, we will now be able to do that as long as we follow all of the proper protocols. What that means for us, of course, is that we need a little more monetary input from various places to make sure that we can have what we need to keep those protocols in place. We're going to have masks. We're going to have to look for volunteers to help us in screening people who are coming to our presentations and all kinds of things like that. So in general, our usual budget is around $40,000, and we're sitting at about a quarter of that right now. And we have been very actively asking various groups and the government and lots of different places to try and pull in enough money to not only put on a good festival, but also to seed a little money for carrying on into next year and not start at such a low point as we have in the past. So what we're asking for, two-prong. First one being to continue to allow us to meet if we need it in the UCC, and to allow us those meeting rooms free of charge. We also, during the festival, will have use of, we've already, how to put this, we're already negotiating with the community center for our Uzumi presentations. Probably would need to use those for Kids Day. We're thinking perhaps we might now be able to put on the Chowder Chowdown. There's lots of things that would require that kind of space, and we ask that you provide that for us as an in-kind donation. The other thing that we're asking for is $1,500 just to help us with some of the extra expenses that we're going to need in order to carry forth in case that there's any things we have to do that would require tents. We're also looking to make sure that we have all contingencies handled so that all these people who are going to come again into our area and make our festival special will be able to do that in a safe manner. So yeah, that's what we're asking for. And I'm willing to answer any questions you might have at this time.
Any questions for you? No? You're well versed. Looking to my left. We don't see any questions, and again, I'm looking forward to the festival this year. So thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Mako, Mayor Mako.
It's all good. It's all good. Okay, moving on to 8.12 Pacific Rim Toastmasters. Welcome, Julie.
Thank you so much, Mayor and Council. So once again, Toastmasters is meeting on the west coast of Vancouver Island through Zoom. And the last time I gave you guys an update, we were getting together with the Toastmaster group from Port Alberni. And that group has folded. So it is Pac Rim now. And what that means is it's even more important for us to meet, because if we lose this tool on the West Coast, it's Parksville that's going to be the closest, or Nanaimo. So it's a huge tool that's available to the West Coast. And I think it's important that it survives. And so we as a group met last night and have decided to become an online club, because we're just not getting the attendance from the West Coast. So I want to encourage everyone to think of people that could use communication skills. Toastmasters is such a broad spectrum of skills that you can learn, like running council meetings, like running organization business meetings, local business meetings that you have at your own business. It's such a unique tool to teach you leadership, speaking in front of audiences, and just getting that comfortability. So definitely a really neat tool to have, and we look forward to keeping it going on the west coast of Vancouver Island, just through another platform, which will be Zoom. So just wanted to give you guys an update on what we're going to be doing in the next 6 months.
Thank you, Julie. Any questions for Julie? Are you still a member? We got a loyal member here, right beside me. Councillor Cole and I we play with that every 6 months. Every time we meet you and see you, just like Rochelle did, we look down.
Yeah. I would really love to join. I'm glad it's going to be on Zoom, actually, because that would be easier. How many people in your Pack Room group right now?
We have 6, but we're looking at the 2 from Port Alberni to join us is the goal. We have 2 new guests, which is exciting to have them join us. So we're trying lots of new different things. We're trying once a month, we call it the Citizens of the World meeting, where we visit all places from all over the world. And we learn their culture, some of their language, and what is exciting about that. There is a group called Citizens of the World. I went and attended their meeting because they featured Vancouver Island. So I had the privilege of doing a speech all about Yuki and why they need to come and visit us. So that was super fun, and it gives a whole new excitement. So we're trying new things to bring excitement and fun and give people a reason to want to come and join. So that's definitely up our horizon in the next 6 months or so. So it's a lot of fun.
Great. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah, likewise.
Familiar faces.
Moving on to 8.13, Central West Coast Forest Society, who has a new name now, I understand.
We do, as of today, though I think it will be announced later. Not sure if I'm the one to do that.
You go ahead. I'm familiar with the group, so we might as well just share your new name.
Okay, yeah. So we will be Redfish Restoration.
Double B.
But that will be launched later this spring. So for now, I'll say I'm from Central West Coast Forest Society, and I'm Mara. And I do have a little presentation, so I'll just share my screen. Not sure how big it'll be on everyone else's screens. Oh, it says the host has disabled screen sharing. So not sure if anyone knows how to turn that on, but
we're working on that at the moment.
Okay.
You should be getting a message now to allow you to do that.
Yeah, seems to be good.
There you go.
How does that work? You guys can see that?
You betcha. It looks great.
All right, great. So we are requesting funds for the development of interpretive programs put out by our organization. We plan to build on existing work in our interpretive room. So our stream table is up and running, and it's been a really great tool so far for hands-on demonstrations. And we want to further develop it to enhance its use as an educational tool. So this will mainly be interpretive displays that can be taken around to booths and to schools as well. We plan to create follow-along modules that visitors can use to guide their use of the stream table too. So we are planning a project as well in partnership with the Ucluelet Aquarium that will begin this spring. It's called the Salmon Trail. This will be a network of interpretive stations throughout Ucluelet and Tofino. Each station will represent a different stage in a salmon's migratory journey, and the program will provide resources to our many new and returning visitors so they can reduce their ecological footprint and learn about local ecosystems while enjoying their coastal vacation. Salmon Trail cards, which will be developed for the project, will showcase the 6 stations of the Salmon Trail, and each station will have an activity that visitors can take to help protect local habitats. These 6 stations will be the Tofino Market, where we'll have a booth, Ucluelet Market, there'll be a booth there too, the beach trail next to the Quisitis Interpretive Center on Wickaninnish Beach, the Wild Pacific Trail, and our shop, the Outpost, and the Ucluelet Aquarium. When visitors take their card to each station, they will have a task to complete, such as a 10-minute beach clean, doing plant identification along the trail, learning about erosion control, learning about eelgrass beds, using reusable products, and leaving shells and critters on the beach. After completing the task and talking with a staff member, they'll receive a stamp on their card, and with collection of all of the stamps, they will receive a prize, which they will get at the CWF building or the Ucluelet Aquarium. So we are requesting a donation of $3,500 in order to support these plans. The money will go towards educational signage, designing and developing interactive displays, materials for activities at the stations, and materials for lesson plans. A major aspect that we really want to focus on for these interpretive stations is education. We really want to use this opportunity to engage with locals and visitors to the area and share knowledge on the importance of wild salmon and coastal ecosystems and how they are linked to the health of ocean, river, and forest ecosystems. Also, why the work that we do, CWFS, why that work to restore freshwater habitat is a vital step in rebuilding salmon populations. There'll be an emphasis on how human activity can negatively impact the ecosystems and how visitors and locals can mitigate these impacts. Visitors will be encouraged to follow safe guidelines when encountering wildlife, picking up garbage on beaches and trails, and disposing of their own trash properly to prevent it from entering waterways, reducing waste by bringing reusable containers on their visit, and take photos instead of taking shells or critters from the beaches. This project is a really great way to interact with the really high number of visitors that come through Ucluelet and Tofino every year and increase educational opportunities at multiple locations. It will also make community and ecologically minded visitor behaviors accessible and will work to foster that mentality of care for our coast with younger generations. Thank you very much for listening, and feel free to ask any questions you might have.
Thank you for that presentation. Any questions? Looking at the doctor at the table.
I don't know about you guys, but I've played at the stream table and it's cool. It's really, I'm like 5 in my head, so just a little too tall for that.
It's hard to leave when you start.
I know. Once you start, you can't stop fiddling.
Yeah.
I think the Salmon Trail sounds like a great idea. I'm kind of excited to see how this goes.
That's great. Thank you.
Councillor McEwen?
Hi, Mara. This just struck me as you were talking about the stream table, which I have yet to play with, but I want to. Would that be something that we could use as part of the Whale Festival, as an educational component of that?
So the stream table itself is not really movable, but as like an aspect of the Whale Festival, it could totally be promoted as something people would come in to see. We're also thinking of having an option where people can kind of book sessions for school groups or just groups in general that want like an educational time set aside for that. But yeah, definitely it could be an aspect of that.
Great. I'm going to put our coordinator in touch with you. Thank you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
That's a great idea. I don't see any further questions. Thank you for the presentation.
Okay, great. Thank you all so much.
Have a great afternoon.
You too.
8.14 Coastal Animal Rescue and Education. James, are you on? There you are.
Hey, everybody. Coming to you from the animal shelter. We're, I guess, the busiest we've ever been, again, because of COVID. we're actually seeing a huge increase in numbers and specifically with dogs, but also more social issues than we've ever seen before. So, and we're finding the same with organizations across the island that work with animals. So we're kind of getting backed up quite substantially right now. But that's dogs. Cats is what I'm talking about today. We're looking for $7,000 to get the feral and unwanted cat situation under control finally in Ucluelet. That only represents the hard costs associated to the key 25, 28 cats that we have our eyes on, mostly females, and getting those guys picked up, trapped, and spayed, neutered. And typically we rehome them. We don't bring them back. So that really does bring the numbers down and means we don't have to have colony management, which becomes more and more of an issue with our aging sort of population these days. The benefits, the same as they always are, less suffering, of course, for the animals, the cats, and less disease spread. These cats do tend to get sick, certainly when the numbers get high, and those there are different diseases that spread. Another big one, which actually relates to the animals not being healthy, is that they become an attractant for wildlife. So we see an increase in the potential for human-wildlife conflict situations as the cats, certainly the unhealthy ones, become attractants. And ultimately, this is all about saving money if we do this proactively and in a big way. Right now, we have all the gear. We know what we're doing. We're recruiting more cat trappers, ready to teach them the way of the cat trapper over the next couple of weeks. And we want to hit kitten season hard and just go out there and get all these cats and kittens moved along and take care of things, hopefully to some sustaining level. For that money, I'd be happy to offer you some dogs. If you need some dogs, we've got lots of dogs. Just hoping we can work together on this one to get the cat situation under control.
Everyone's giggling.
We do have dogs. If anybody is looking for a dog, all colors, all sizes, all temperaments.
You're a pusher, James.
Yeah, you call me. You call me anytime.
He even does the old rent to own thing there. He's we did that a couple times and one never left. So
that's right. Special deal for mayor and council.
He hasn't been invited back since.
Yeah, that's right.
I appreciate the $10 a day food bill I got. Any questions for James on the cats?
Your dog has lovely outfits, and he came with some. So
yeah, he does. Yes.
Yeah.
It's our new baby in the house. Any questions for James? Pretty self-explanatory, James, and thank you for taking on the work that you do. That's very vital to the region.
Great, thank you. Take care.
8.15 Ucluelet Area Childhood Society. Welcome, Kathy.
Hi, guys. Mayor and Council. Sorry. Good afternoon. I'm sorry I wasn't able to make it in person. I just wanted to give you kind of a feel for where our current numbers at the daycare are. Our multi-age program has 8 registrations. The group daycare has 32 registrations, and the after-school, out-of-school program is 42 registrations. So we currently have 82 active registrations. Our daily numbers, we run usually about 6 to 7 kids a day in our multi-age program. The group daycare runs 18 kids on Monday, Friday, and then we're hitting 24 Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And the same with our after-school program. We're hitting pretty much capacity every day of the week, 22 to 24 kids a day. My current wait list, are you ready for this one? 37. It's the first time that I've ever gone through a wait list in the last 6 months where I actually have people calling and putting kids on the list and they haven't even birthed them yet. So I have about 4 that now have been born, but I was hearing from families before kids were even being born. Our staffing, we have 3 ECEs right now, you guys. Whoa, this is amazing. 3 ECEs, and that's really the key to being able to increase our numbers, is having the full ECEs. So we have 2 full-time and 1 part-time ECE. We have 3 ECE assistants, 3 responsible adults, and another floor support. So at the moment, we're working with a staff of 10. We are looking to hire 1 more ECE assistant, responsible adult, floor support. Definitely as we move into summer and being able to be outside more, we can break our programs apart and bring our numbers up. We have our current financials almost ready, and we'll be submitting them as requested by the end of the month. And I just wanted to say thank you. Really, the persistence on our heating situation. The community center staff they were awesome about keeping an eye on the temperature in our space and keeping us in the loop of what was happening. They were coming in out of on the weekends when we weren't there, putting space heaters in to try to help us preheat our space. And it's lovely. It's been lovely with the new compressors in place. We haven't worn long johns. We don't need them anymore. We're warm. We've had a new hot water tank, light bulb replacements. They fixed our locks. They've been letting us have an occasional movie day when it's okay. And sorry about that fire alarm yesterday. They all got to pull it once. It takes, every 2 years, 1 kid pulls it once. So I'm sorry about that, but I really want to thank you all for your support to the Ucluelet Children's Center. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Kathy. Any questions?
Hi, Kath.
Hi.
This is a question I always ask. Have you heard at all from the Ministry of Education about the band room at all and how that's going to work?
We have had absolutely no contact.
Crickets. Shocking. Another question for your 37 families on the wait list. What is kind of the age group, the percentage?
Infant toddler.
Infant toddler. Of course. Okay.
We will have approximately 10 kids moving from the group daycare into the kindergarten program starting in September. So we have definitely, come September, we'll be able to bring a few more kids in, but the ability to take kids that are under 3 is still, we have 3 spots. That's all we can use.
And so do you need an infant toddler ECE?
I have an infant toddler ECE.
Okay.
I'm working on organizing a way to make that happen in the community.
Oh, okay.
I can't speak to that at this moment.
I get it. Thank you.
Only you two know what's going on, but that's okay. That's what's important. So.
We're working very, very hard to find a way to hit the needs of these families. And infant toddlers, something we've been really trying to find a way to incorporate that into our programming. And we have possible of a unique partnership coming through. And we'll let you know where that plays out.
Okay. Any questions for Kathy? No? Thank you, Kathy, and we appreciate your passion. And I know there's many families that rely on you. I see them dropping off their kids and picking them up so they can work in town. So it's definitely it's an essential service, and we appreciate you taking it on the way you do.
Thanks, you guys. It's really helpful that we have good partners in our community to help us.
Moving on, it says he won't be presenting, but I see Heather's on, and Heather, it's all yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. As always, the Girl Guides of Canada are very thankful for the use of the UAC Hall. And I would like to recognize and thank you for lighting up the junction sign again. So February 22nd is World Thinking Day, which everyone knows is a very important day in the world of Girl Guides and Scouts. So we will actually pop out to the junction on the 22nd to do a little ceremony and recognize. And the girls they really enjoyed it last year, and they're really excited to do it again. Girl Guides and Pathfinders, we've been rolling along. We're a very small group right now, and some of that is definitely probably COVID related. We've got 4 Girl Guides and we have 4 Pathfinders. Probably this year will be the last year for the group of girls that are in Pathfinders. A lot of them have got other interests and will be looking to move on. There is interest amongst the girls in Girl Guides, but we're really hoping we need some additional leaders. And I know everyone's always looking for more volunteers, but we will see how this year goes, and hopefully that some parents and other youth step forward. We have one Pathfinder who's very interested in being a junior leader, which will be helpful, I think, to the Girl Guides. And as always, we've got cookies coming in the spring, and we'll be able to sell in person, which the girls are also very excited to be doing. So, yeah, thank you very much for everything, and we are always thankful for the use of the UAC Hall.
Thank you, Heather. Any questions?
If they're selling in person, there's no way I'm not buying boxes of cookies like all the time. I hate this.
We catch you all as you're going to the co-op. So thank you.
But we love the cookies.
Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
Are there any others that I've missed? I know I see you, Denise. Is there any outside of Denise that would like to speak?
Marnie is on there. That's the Rangers. Yeah.
Bernie, if you wish. You want to say a couple things? I imagine similar to what Heather just mentioned.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. And I'm a small group again this year. We actually acquired one new junior ranger. Yay! And thank you very much for the use of the UAC Hall as well. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be able to be here. I guess that's about it.
Thank you, Bernie. I know, I'll leave it at that. So thank you. I'm glad that your group is still active and you're still using the hall. And Denise, is she the last? Denise, the last person then? Okay. No, we'll go to Denise next. I didn't see Denise on the list here, so I just. Denise, it's all you. How are you? Welcome.
Thank you for having me during the society's meeting. I don't really have much to report back to council. I've been more of just an active listener and participant. I find this very helpful for Tourism Ucluelet to hear what is going on in all of the societies in and around the area. And it gives me opportunity to follow up with certain organizations with our grant and aid program that we have and anybody else who we may have missed and see if there's opportunities, if it's not at least a financial contribution, at least for us to support in an in-kind way of promoting the activities that they've got going on. So I don't have much to report back to council or request at this time, but I just wanted to let you know that that was my purpose of being at the call today.
Perfect, Denise, and I'll probably circle back to you a little bit later on because I think there's probably a couple of these applicants that one resonates with me is the Central West Coast where sustainability and education, I think that we're all on the same page there, but there's any opportunity that I can push things onto your plate. I think my council is very supportive of that. So you're on my radar for this week. Heads up.
Look forward to following up with you.
Thanks for participating and listening in.
Absolutely.
Carrie, I see you. Welcome.
Hello. I'm representing West Coast Community Resources Society this time. I'm the manager of operations. As most of you know, our ED, longtime ED, Margaret, retired last summer. We do have an interim ED right now, but we're looking for a permanent ED. Hopefully we'll have good news soon. I'm just attending a meeting just so that our society is still connected with other societies, getting to know what everyone's doing, and if there's any questions about what our society is doing, I'm happy to answer them.
Any questions for Carrie? No, I think we're good with your organization, and we see your request here, Carrie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, there is an in-kind of, well, it's sort of like last year, a bit of I believe a rental space with a challenging cost. So I'll save that for
we always appreciate the district partnership and support.
Very timely. I like it. Thanks, Carrie. Are there any other participants that we may have missed? Laurie's in Hawaii, so we won't ask her to speak today. Moving on to question period. Any final questions from those in the audience? Those attending? We are adjourned, and I just actually before I say that, I tried to control myself and not say 50 thank yous, but for those that are on, it's very nice for all of council and for each of the societies to hear what everybody's going on and their challenges and the positive things, and you survived 2021, and we look forward to supporting you and seeing you in the community for 2022. So just again, it's just a big thank you to all of you for the time and dedication that you put towards those different groups, and thank you. And now we're officially adjourned.